Okay, so this is part two of going through the Bible, anything from outside aspect. Genesis 3, we're doing it. Title of this little next part is called The Temptation and Fall of Man. Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. He had said to the woman, Has God indeed said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Uh, and the woman said to the serpent, We may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree of which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, You shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. Then the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. So, like I said before, is that everything you need to know, it opens your eyes of like, hey, things aren't what they really seem to be at all. And so when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, she took of the fruit and ate it. And it's one of those things where it's like, he wanted to, God wanted her to avoid seeing like, oh yeah, that's really beautiful. It's like, but when she was like, seeing, oh no, 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 can't see that, can't be beautiful. God said it's not. Like that's His. God being kind of like a selfish person, one thing. Um, she also gave it to her husband with her, and he ate it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. So they knew how to do different things, including sewing, and they're like, maybe we don't want to be naked anymore, at all. Uh, and they heard the sound of the Lord walking in the garden in the cool of day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. Then the Lord called to Adam and said to him, Where are you? I gotta say something real quick. This kind of the whole thing of eating everything but uh, the from the fruit tree of good and evil kind of reminds me of the Giver, to where they have to take the medicine and everything, and uh, them stopping it, taking their medicine. It's kind of like Adam and Eve eating the fruit of tree and life. Like, there are things out there, you get this utopia, blah blah, and like you have one person now, Jeff Bridges, who played as the older Giver and everything. Like, I'm not saying he's gone in this sense, but he's one of those people to where he's like, yeah, I'm the only one that has eaten the fruit and seen that this world isn't black and white and everything. I see color and everything, and everyone else in this world only sees black and white, and like, it's just ridiculous. Like, there's so many colors. Like, how can you not love all these colors of the world and everything? Okay. It says, Where are you? And he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded that you should not eat? And the man said, The woman whom you gave to be with me, and she gave me of the tree, and I ate. Uh, and and the Lord said to the woman, What is this you have done? What is this you have done? Woman, this is definitely a sign of like, women, what the hell? You make people go wrong, and men go wrong. This is wrong of you, like blaming woman and everything. And the woman said, The serpent deceived me and I ate. I don't see how the serpent deceived the woman from what I just read. So the Lord God said to the serpent, Because you have done this, you are cursed more than all cattle, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you shall go, and you shall eat dust, and all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Okay. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow at your conception. In pain you shall bring forth children, and your desire shall be with your husband, and he shall rule over you. Okay, so it's basically, I'm not understanding the whole thing of you shall eat dust. Like, like, dust isn't normal snakes. Like, the heck. And a lot of people are, I've seen or heard them say that the serpent who told Eve to eat is Satan, but in these little words here so far hasn't been said that it's him. And because she has eaten it from because of the snake, he will say, "Pain you shall bring forth children." So like, when giving birth to children, you'll be in pain. You know, everything else to it. You shall your desire shall be for your husband, which could be like, if God had created other people, instead of her wanting to basically have sex with everyone, it'd be with her husband. That's it. Which, in that way, with how a lot of people monogamy, like, hey, you only like your husband. That's it. And he shall rule over you, which kind of sounds like he's the head of the house now, like the whole stereotype of 1960s and beforehand of like, he could say, like, hey, do the dishes or clean the house or whatever, be pregnant and barefoot, and you have to do it anyway. Then to Adam he said, because you have heeded the voice of your wife, and have eaten from the tree which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat it, cursed is the ground for your sake, and toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Means you have to work the ground, okay? Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you. Bunch of wild grass, weeds, and everything. Because you ate it, the grass isn't going to be so nice anymore. And you shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat, in the sweat of your face you shall eat bread till you return to the ground. And out of it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return. So, basically saying you eat the herbs and eat the bread. So, vegetables like salads, stuff type of thing, and bread. That's what you eat. Which for the most part they ain't bad, okay? I don't know how that's a curse. But like, I guess like the dirt's going to be like worse, maybe. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. And for Adam and his wife, the Lord God made tunics of skin and clothed them. Okay. So they skinned animals, I guess, from reading that, and made clothing out of them. And fur, too. Then the Lord God said, behold, the man has become like one of us, to know good and evil, and now lest he put out his hand, and also take it of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him out of the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed cherubim at the east of the Garden of Eden, and the flaming sword which turned every which way to guard the way of the tree of life. Okay, so that almost sounded like a compass. It's like, hey, go, here's a compass. Find your way now out there. No, and uh, Tree of Life is north. Okay. Um, what else? Okay, so become one of them. That means like, uh, intellectually, one of them, uh, or so. That's what I'm thinking. Like man, Adam and Eve became intellectually like, everything is like, what I understand of this, it's a, um, these extraterrestrials created this, this galaxy, Milky Way, of our 8, 9 planets and star, uh, and help forming it, uh, put ice in the planet to create water, uh, was one island, and then all of a sudden water came through, and uh, the land, and broke up the land to different continents and everything, uh, and then created this one area. It's like, created all the animals, sky, land, water, and everything in between, and then decided this one little area, make a garden, like a backyard garden, grass, um, take your kids to and everything, and created and decided, I don't want to take care of this land by myself. I'm going to create humans, so I did, and then made him a wife, and they could multiply, and their kids could, take care of the land, and grandkids, and so on and so forth, and take care of the land for me and all the animals, and be with all the animals too. But because of this one tree, they wanted to like plant it, saying this is like, we created a library, and the people said, don't go in the library. Okay, you be a part of everything else. Don't be part of this library. Okay, they went into the library. They have knowledge now of everything, and all that, with why they're really there, and they were basically an experiment gone wrong. They was like, they got a little too curious. Okay, even though it was like plugged into the, and it's that, that. Okay, now next one, Cain murders Abel. I don't know why, but I always said, I know this story. I know it's somewhere in Genesis, but it's chapter 4 of it. Okay. Uh, Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have acquired a man from the Lord. Then she bore again, and this time his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. Okay. And in the process of the time, it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to the Lord. Okay. Um, so Abel was the only, okay, keeper of sheep. Abel only took care of the sheep, and Cain took care of everything else, plants and anything. Um, Now Abel brought that of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And the Lord respected Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain and his offering. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. So the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry, and why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door. And its desire is for you, and you should rule over. He sees Cain pissed off that he didn't like, because the Lord didn't like what he offered, fruit and everything. And well, if you're a meat eater, you're going to accept the meat more than veggies and fruits and everything. Now Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, where is Abel your brother? And he said, I do not know. am I my brother's keeper? I don't take care of him, whatever. Um, but it's the whole thing of like they did offerings, and God didn't like the fact that what Cain offered, and I guess it happened multiple times too. And he said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." Oh, he found out, No, so now you are cursed from the earth. And when he opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand, when you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. A fugitive and vagabond you shall be on the earth. Fuck. If you treat one person poorly and another one better, you think shit's gonna happen. And everything. And treat Cain better, damn it. And Cain said to the Lord, "My punishment is greater than I can bear. Surely you have driven me out this day from the face of the ground. I shall be hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond on the earth. And it will happen that anyone who finds me will kill me." And bad rumor spread. Or the whole he found guilty of killing his brother, and so you can't get a job or anything, especially working on the ground, the trees. He lost his green thumb. And the Lord said to him, "Therefore, whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold." And the Lord set a mark on Cain. Let anyone finding him should kill him. Put a bounty on his head. He's like, "Oh, you killed your brother?" And he's like, "Oh, hey, where's your brother? Oh my God, you killed him? Here's his blood and evidence of where you killed him. You didn't he wasn't a great murderer, apparently. Well, you know what? I'm going to put a bounty on your head. And like, you can't work here." So he got blacklisted, and then all of a sudden, he got put a bounty on his head. Family of Cain. Then Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. To Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begot Megro, and Megro begot Mesrol, and Mesrol begot Lamech. Where's all these women coming from? Seriously. Then Lamech took for himself 2 wives. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the second was Zillah. And Adea bore Jebel, and for his father of those who dwelt in tents and have livestock, and his brother's name was Jubal, and his father of all those who play the harp and flute. Oh, very musically talented, okay. As for the Zillah, she also bore Tubal Cain, and an instructor of every craftsman in bronze and iron, blacksmith. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Nama. Then Lama and his 2 wives, Adam said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice. Wives of Lichmo, listen to my speech, for I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. If Cain shall be avenged 7-fold, then Lamech 70-fold. So, okay, he killed a guy for just, okay, what kind of wound did he get? Was it like a slap on the face? A push? And you just killed him? Like, was he getting bullied? Something like that? What kind of wound did he get? Okay, let's see. And this is, what follows is boastful taunt song that captures the violent spirit of Lamech. The words of Lamech are poetic, making a passage memorable and powerful. I have killed a man. In this boost, Lamech identifies that he has followed in the worst pattern of his ancestor Cain, and a wicked braggadocio, he taunted God by his word 70-fold, whereas the Lord would bring vengeance to the slayer of Cain 7-fold. This guy boasted that by himself he would greatly magnify the vengeance on anyone who attacked him. This is another example, although in wickedness, of the inflation of numbers for effort. He doesn't really talk much about that. Like, he's mocking. He's like, "Oh well, I killed a man. Just like ancestor Cain. I'm gonna be even worse now." That doesn't make sense at all. Okay, please, someone let me know.